What annoys you to your core? Giving an inch to a person who then takes a mile. I have never understood people like that. Give me an inch and I'll take less, then ask if I can have the rest of the inch a million times. This is the reason some people don't like apologizing. For some people, receiving an apology is like a power ego trip and they milk it. People who stand it or stop to text in a doorway or directly on a narrow path. Those people are assholes. Or the people who just stop in the driving portions of parking lots. Like, dude, you're in a parking lot. There's hundreds of spaces to choose from that were designed for that shit. My mother used to come stand in the doorway of my room and go on and on and on, and if I'd need to leave the room at any point she'd act like I was the rude one. That or she'd just stand in my doorway texting as if she couldn't do it literally anywhere else. God, that annoyed the fuck out of me. People complaining to workers about things over which the person has no control. When I was a 19-year waiter, people yelled at me if they were unsatisfied with the food or wine. Like, damn, I just brought it from the kitchen, dude. When I worked at a shoe store 5 years ago, I got this all the time as a cashier. I was constantly yelled at for the price of things or how stuff was discounted. Like, sorry mom, I just work here. Take it up with corporate if you're that mad over a discount. Complainers in general are the worst. Like, I get it, working sucks or waiting sucks, but sitting here and complaining about it only makes it worse. Littering. Seriously. Like, who raised you? Came here to say this. I can't stand when I see someone litter. There are no excuses. Period. People eating with their mouths open. That shit pisses on my fire. And talking wide-mouthed while eating. People not using basic manners. Please. Thank you etc. I work at Starbucks and the amount of people snatching shit from my hands is staggering. I actually got a comment from a waitress once that my daughter, who was about 8-9 at the time, was one of the most polite kids she'd ever waited on. I mean, basic manners? People who view relationships as possession control versus a friendship mutual partnership. Especially those who demand that you accept them as they are, otherwise you are an unsupportive partner. Meanwhile they try to change this, that and the other about you. Yeah, also those that view relationships as transactional. You do this for me, I'll do this for you type deal. People who are oblivious to their surroundings in public. Examples include people who crowd grocery store aisles with their shopping cart and people who have no idea the red light turned green. Yes, it's shocking the lack of self-awareness some people have. My favorite term for them, oblivious. I almost got shopping cart T-boned in a grocery store by a kid who was basically power walking while pushing his cart and staring down at his phone. I don't know how people can walk around like that. And this isn't a damn kids and their phones rant. It's a watch what the fuck is happening in your immediate vicinity rant. When applying to jobs saying they'll call you back but they never do. This also when jobs post they're hiring urgently but never call you for an interview even after going in and talking to someone about your application. Then they cut business hours BC they're too lazy to hire someone. Seriously, I'd much rather get a phone call or email that says something like thank you but we're going with someone else rather than sit around hoping they'll get back to me. Automated customer service. The best is when you finally reach the end of the rainbow and think you are getting a human and you get disconnected. When someone wants to take stuff that is yours and not theirs. As well as the people who take credit for something they never did and leave the person who actually did it to be told they need to be more like the other person. People not using their blinker. People who don't understand zip lanes annoy me more. Acting like it's an insult to them that you need to merge. Giving smooth flowing traffic. When you politely intervene in a conversation cause you had some comment, objection, whatever, and the talker keeps going, which makes you realize it's a talk fest and not an actual exchange of ideas, and they just want to be at the center of attention. People who purposely misconstrue things or misunderstand them so they can get offended about them. For example, I recently saw a post that said something like here's a fun recipe for moms. And the woman was teaching her audience, stay-at-home moms, how to do a recipe. And people in the comments just kept saying shit like, what about dads? Are you saying dads can't cook? I can't believe you of all people would say something so horrible. Their outrage clearly had nothing to do with the video or its content. And anyone with half a brain cell would know that's not what she meant. I see a ton of this type of thing. People on the hunt for something to be offended about are the goddamned worst. Someone on our community Facebook page was offended that it took 4 guys to patch a hole on the road. They're just standing around. Well, Karen. One is doing the work. One told him what to do. The other ascertained what needed to be done. And one is oversight to make sure it's done right. Also, shouldn't you be at work? Twitter in a nutshell. You can post I really like pancakes and get flooded with comments and DMs about waffle erasure telling you to eat a bullet. It's almost as if people don't get enough attention these days. People who act like letting you merge is some giant crime and aggressively refuse to let you in like they're supposed to. On the flip side of that, I hate it when there's a 1/4 mile of open space behind me and someone passes up all that open space then tries to force their way over. Some people try to fit in behind the person I'm letting in. They can go to hell and die. When people are late to their reservations and don't even acknowledge it or apologize for it. Hi, yes, we have a reservation for 5:30. Sorry, we can't seat you at 6:30. All you hosts and servers and those that deal with the general public, I really fucking salute you because a cook's answers to guests will be callous and raw. I work at an optical place and the first appointment of the day was late today. He did not apologize. And so it threw off the optometrist for the entire day. And he saw all his other appointments later than the scheduled time. People either don't realize or don't care that their lateness can affect everyone else. People who are like, well, I did this. Why can't you? They don't care to understand that everyone has different struggles and life experiences. People who are too lazy to put their fucking shopping carts back in the fucking cart return. I've been doing cart returns off and on for 7.5 years and all the carts just pushed up onto the grass or left in parking spaces or left behind the car next to them piss me off to no end. Especially when the return area is less than 30 feet from where they're parked. When I worked cart return at Costco, we had a rope with hooks on either end that was able to stretch and secure about 10 or so carts. The worst people were the ones that would see you pushing back these carts, clearly at capacity, and would look you dead in the eye while they leave their cart in a parking spot and sheepishly give a sorry or not even say a word. If you're that embarrassed about it, why not just take it back yourself? Eventually I'd just leave my row of carts in the aisle behind their car while I took their loose carts to the corral. People in nice cars not using blinkers like they are broken. I saw a girl literally say she doesn't use the turn signals because it is nobody else's business where I'm going. Yes it is. It very much is. Blinkers are unfortunately in a higher trim package that the BMW drivers just can't afford. People who play music on speakers in public. Specifically public transportation. Exactly. How can you even do this? I would instantly be red from embarrassment. I turn off music in my headphones when I walk past someone, even though there is no way they can hear it. So maybe that's why I think that they're looking for interaction and or confrontation. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more Reddit videos.